the channel. This is MaskedGamlng, and today, if you've clicked on this video, I will tell you right now that this video is the one for you. If you want to be toxic and if you want to have some fun while also having a build that's very, very simple to use, then this is what you want to be on. As you can see, we have half decent stats. We've got 34,000 maximum magicka, we've got 20k max health, and we've got 19.2k maximum stamina. This is brilliant for a sorcerer. If you can have a look for our recoveries, they're quite low, they're all below 1,000, however this will not be a problem, as you will see very soon. We have 2.4k spell damage, and we have a 33.9% spell critical, with 21,000 spell resistance and 17,000 physical resistance, with 2.8k critical resist. We have 64 points into magicka. We are a Breton, and the food we are running is the bewitched sugar skulls, which increases our max health, stamina, and max mag by 3.6k and 3.9k respectively, as well as increasing our health recovery by 393. We are running the Lady Mundus, which increases our physical and spell resistance by 3.4k. As you can see, we have two pets here, so you already know what I'm doing, and if you don't like it, please click away from this video. But if you do like the look of it, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, drop a comment. I'm not fussed. I noticed that still 96% of you are not subscribed, so even if a third of you hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me, and it would just help my channel get noticed a little bit more. That's all I want to do. I want to build the channel up. There is a link in the description for the Discord, my official Discord, where I will offer build advice, and there will be chances for giveaways in the future and events held on the respective Elder Scrolls Online servers. I personally play Xbox, so I will be organising Xbox EU server events, as well as my own guild, so feel free to come in there, say hi, and just socialise with us. Now let's get right into the inventory, because I know you guys are waiting for that. We're running a bit of a strange build here, but bear with me and you'll see why it works so well. We're running the Lightning Staff of the Undaunted Infiltrator with an Oblivion damage enchant. Now the reason I'm running an Oblivion damage enchant is because people cannot block this. This is a set amount of 4.8k, or in PvP 2.5 to 2.8k. This means that no matter what you do, whenever this enchantment procs, they will lose 2.8k of their health. Now this is a nice hard hitting enchantment. Not many people run it because not many people know things about it. Oblivion damage is very unique in the sense that it scales off of the enemy's max health. This one does a maximum of 4.8k, however there are other sets out there that just deal Oblivion damage, so that is something to look into. However, I've just chosen Oblivion damage just to mix things up a little bit, as I do not like running just the meta. Meta is boring, and I want to bring you guys original builds that come straight from the insanity that is my own mind when it comes to making Elder Scrolls Online builds. Now for those of you who don't know, Undaunted Infiltrator adds maximum stamina, and weapon critical. But wait, we are not a stam class, so why do we need this stam? Well, the stamina is helpful for breaking free, and the weapon critical, well, that just looks like a pretty word to say, doesn't it? It's not actually useful, it's just there. It's a negative of this set, however this is a very nice set. The fifth ability, now this is why we are running Undaunted Infiltrator. You get this from Ark's Corinium. This is a medium armor set, hence why we're running it on the weapons and jewellery, as I'll show you soon. On the 5-piece, when you use an ability that costs magicka, you increase the damage of your light and heavy attacks by 1.6k for 10 seconds. So as you can see in the build title, we are doing a heavy attack build, so having this extra 1.6k damage is very important. There's no cooldown, so anytime you cast a magicka costing ability, it increases that damage. As I said before, this comes from Ark's Corinium, but it is a massive pain to farm. There's a unique ring that comes from the first boss, it is the Snake boss, and then you get the staff and other jewellery from the final boss only. I'd recommend farming this on Veteran with another friend, as doing it solo has been made a lot harder since the Markarth patch, making it so that the version of dungeons that have the number 1 beside them are as difficult as their number 2 counterparts. So I'd recommend bringing a friend along and getting them to use this build as well. Send this video to your friend, I'm sure they'll love it. Cheeky plug there, let's carry on. On the back bar we're running a Restoration Staff of the Undaunted Infiltrator. Now I thought to myself I could run Potentates, however I also thought if I'm increasing my heavy attack damage, I may as well do some heavy attacks with my resto staff to increase my magicka regain if I run out of mag. This has an increased weapon and spell damage enchant on it, and it's in defending, because we need as much physical and spell resistance as we can. We are running 5 light armor pieces. We have no resistances. We are as squishy as a wet sponge. And that is not good at all. We do not want to keep on getting dizzy swing spammed by Stam Dragon Knights. We do not want to be werewolf feared by werewolves and not being able to break free. We want to be able to be tanky and dish out a lot of damage, as well as laugh and teabag people when they die. So that's why we got this in defending. Now, this is the Pied de Resistance. This monster set, I personally despise it. I hate it. But I thought, why not fight fire with literal fire? What this set does is it adds max magicka, and when you deal damage with a light or heavy attack, bear in mind we're using a lightning staff, which means every half second we are doing damage with a heavy attack. We have a 33% chance to summon a fire-breathing Daedroth that can't be killed for 15 seconds. This Daedroth's attacks deal 4.8k flame damage, 2.5 in PvP, and alternate between a fiery breath, fiery claws, and jagged claw. The jagged claw, I believe, makes you bleed slightly. The fiery jaws is just a snap, it's a big burst of physical damage, and the fiery breath is, if you've done Maelstrom, it's just a spray of fire. This is incredibly overpowered. This can only be summoned once every 15 seconds. But it's up for 15 seconds. This has a 100% uptime if you play it right, maybe 90% uptime. You constantly do those heavy attacks, you will be having a Daedroth. And you'll be making people like me, who don't use this build, cry. Please do not make me cry, but if you do want to, use this. Now, this next set is very controversial. I've been told not to use this set, and I've had multiple people say, you're a bit of an idiot for using it. Now, I may be a bit of an idiot for using it, but let me show you why I'm a clever idiot for using it. We're running the Tri-Stack Glyph enchantment that increases our max health, magicka and stamina by 550 each, as well as having it infused, driving that number up even further. The base amount is actually about 400, but having this infused means that it goes up at that extra 100, so it's very important. Tri-Stack Glyphs are very useful, because we do need an extra bit of health and stamina. It's very helpful. Now, the Destructive Mage set, you get this actually from Etherean Archive, or any of the Craglorn Trials. I personally get mine from the Etherean Archive. What this set does is it adds maximum magicka. Good, we need that. On the 3-piece, adds 833 spell critical, which is about 3.3% critical rating. We need that. Adds 129 spell damage. We of course need that. But here is why it's very strange. When you deal damage with a fully charged heavy attack, you place a bomb on the enemy for 10 seconds. When they are hit with another fully charged heavy attack, the bomb detonates, dealing 8.7k magic damage to all enemies within 8 seconds. This can occur every 4 seconds. Heavy attacks take 3 seconds to cast, so this ability can have an about maybe 50% uptime. You do one heavy attack, it places it. You do another heavy attack, it does the damage. You do another heavy attack, it places it. Or, I haven't fully investigated this, but perhaps you do a heavy attack, it detonates one, as well as placing one. Then you do another heavy attack, which places one, then you do a second heavy attack, which detonates and places one. It's hard to tell because it does say once every 4 seconds, and for some reason in the Markarth DLC I've noticed that my debuffs on the enemy haven't been showing up despite my settings being correct. So this is something for you all to investigate yourself. The effects on PTS have been a bit buggy recently, so whenever I do actually detonate this bomb, I don't actually see the explosion. However, I have tested this on Xbox, and I have seen that it does actually have a magical twinkle when it explodes, so keep an eye out for that magical twinkle. Next up on the shoulders, we're running another heavy More of the Infernal. This is in max health and in Divines. You know what More of the Infernal does? Makes people cry. Good job. We're running the Ether Sash of Destruction, which is light. You can't get it in any other than light, so I'm not going to keep on repeating the word light, otherwise I will go insane. This one is in Impenetrable with maximum magicka. The gloves are also in Impen, maximum magicka. The breaches are also infused with a tri-stack glyph, so that means with the two tri-stack glyphs we're getting extra 1k health and 1k stam, which is very helpful. That 1k can make all the difference despite what people think. And we're running the shoes, divines, maximum mag. Now, as I said before, on the jewelry we are actually running Undaunted Infiltrator. So I'll show you this. You do need to transmute this, otherwise you will be stuck with 3 pieces of jewelry that add stamina. And you don't want stamina, you either want magicka or infused, or, as you can see here, I'm running 1 protective. Now protective, you can actually get a guaranteed piece of this from completing the Psijic Order storyline. It gives you a protective jewelry for you to research, so you can actually research it for yourself. Otherwise, just buy out on the guild store. What this does is it increases your spell and physical resistance by 1.19k, which means that your resistances are going up just for having a bit of jewelry on. And you can't say no to a bit of resistances. All of the pieces are running spell damage glyphs, and 2 of the jewelry pieces are infused. It doesn't matter what order you have the traits. I personally just like having my necklace and 1 ring the same. It's however where you want it. Now let's move on to the skills. We're running a weird setup today. So for right now I've got Degeneration on. Now Degeneration is the morph of Entropy in the Mages Guild skill line. Now for those of you who don't know, Empower recently got a buff. If you look in the Mages Guild skill line here, you can see that in the Might of the Guild passive, casting a Mage's Guild ability grants you Empower, increasing the damage of your light and heavy attacks by 40% for 3 seconds. This is a constant 40% increase to your damage if you put on Entropy, as well as the fact that Entropy also gives you Major Sorcery, increasing your spell damage by 20% for 24 seconds. So not only are you getting a hard hitting damage over time effect, but you're also getting extra light and heavy attack damage just from casting this ability. If you do not want to run Degeneration, you can also run Fire Rune, which instantly arms and kills somebody, does damage to them. If you morph it to the Explosive Rune morph, this ability is actually quite nice. It's not too costly, and it does a nice bit of damage straight away if you don't want to run a damage over time effect. I personally just like Degeneration as it increases my spell damage, but Fire Rune only increases my damage output and gives me the Empower, so it's really whatever you want to run. Next up we have our Resistance Booster, I do apologise, Boundless Storm. Now this ability may not look that good, it's only 875 shock damage every second for 23 seconds, but that's 23 seconds of having Major Resolve. Major Resolve increases your physical and spell resistance by 6,000. Plus as well, acting this ability increases your movement speed by 30% for 4 seconds. Now if I just show you my stats after I cast Boundless Storm, you will see that my resistances go up to 27,000 spell resist and 23,000 physical. But if we switch to our Resto Staff defending bar, it goes to 30,000 spell resistance, 26,000 physical resistance, while also maintaining very high stats. So really this build is the best of both worlds. You get tankiness and damage. Now you notice my pets aren't actually cast right now, that's because I'm in Mournhold and they instantly got killed off. If you look here, you can see that my health has actually gone up due to the activation of my pets. Now if we go back to our skills, we can carry on. As you can see on Daedric Prey, that is our 3rd ability. We are running Daedric Prey. Now this ability triggers after 6 seconds and does a massive amount of damage. If you cast this and do 2 heavy attacks, that will trigger the explosion from your Destructive Mage, as well as triggering the explosion to Daedric Prey, which is a nasty burst combination. You cannot go wrong with it. You can even mix it up with our ultimate, which is Ice Comet. This is the Mages Guild ultimate. You throw this down, it takes a couple of seconds to cool down, as well as the fact that you can have this triggering and your Destructive Mage. You can have a nasty burst combination with this heavy attack build, a combination of which that hasn't been seen in heavy attack builds in a long time. Plus as well, Daedric Prey has been chosen because it increases the damage your pets deal by an extra 20% to the target. Now, speaking of pets, we're running the Twilight Matriarch, which will heal us. We're running the Volatile Familiar, which stuns the enemy. You don't have to cast this ability the second time if you just wanted to do the shock damage. However, the stun pulse is very helpful. It just means that the enemy is knocked off balance every now and again, so they can't do constant damage to you. Now let's move on to the back bar. We're running Life Giver as the ultimate for our restoration stuff. For those of you who don't know, this is a massive pain in the ass. What it does is it constantly heals you, it also gives you a shield and makes you take reduced damage, basically meaning you are the most overpowered thing in the entire world. You cannot die essentially, and if you do, I'd be very, very surprised. On our 5th ability, we've got Dark Deal. Now, Dark Deal is a very strange one. People say to me, oh no, you're running a magicka build, you need to run Dark Conversion. However, people say that they're running out of stamina too much on their magicka builds, and here is the answer. We are running a heavy attack build, ladies and gentlemen, which means we are getting constant magicka come back to our resource pool. Do we need that magicka? No, we do not. So we're going to run Dark Deal, we're going to sacrifice 2k of it, and we're going to get 3k stamina instantly, as well as having a nice 8k burst heal. We need this ability. Plus as well, 2400 stamina over 20 seconds is an extra 24 recovery. Have I done that maths right? No, I haven't. It's 120 recovery. 240 if you look at it in the extra per 2 seconds stat. That's an extra 240 stamina recovery just from having this ability casting. Meaning you will never run out of stamina. You can break free from those pesky Nightblades. You can break free from those werewolf stuns. You can break free from that dragon leap. And you can stop crying about how magicka builds don't have enough stamina. You can enjoy magicka builds for once, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, I'm very passionate about stamina because I do like playing stamina builds, but magicka builds, they just don't have enough stamina, man. And we need stamina. We've got our 2 pets as well. They're just here because we don't want them to die. For our 2nd ability, we're running Healing Ward. This is just a Resto Staff shield. You can cast it on an ally as well, but the main reason we're running this is when you cast it on yourself, the shield actually heals you for the 35% of the damage remaining left on it, meaning every second you'll be healing for about 2k, and that's quite a nice heal, as well as the fact it's a strong shield. And this is our main heal on our 1st ability, Rapid Regeneration. This is basically the magicka version of Vigor from the Assault skill tree. This ability is insane. What it does is it heals you for 17,000 health over 5 seconds. It says healing you or a nearby ally, but what it does is it actually heals both. So that's what I love about this ability. You can either cast it on an ally or it will just come straight back to you. 17,000 health over 5 seconds. Half that because of PvP regulations. That is 8,000 over 5 seconds. Rapidly cast this and you'll be getting a lot more health coming back. Mixed with Dark Conversion as well, you'll be getting a lot of health and stamina. This build is meant for people who just want to be able to go into PvP, press one button and be overpowered. This is the sorcerer's answer to the snipe stacker. This is the sorcerer's answer to the Stam Dragon Knight. And most of all, this is the answer to every single sweaty toxic build out there. If you've clicked on this video, you know that you want to be toxic. And this build is designed for you toxic people out there. So much love to you guys. Let's move on to the champion points. Now in the tower we've got 10 in Siphoner, 60 into Warlord, because we actually want to be able to break free. Despite having all the stamina we do have, we kind of want to break free, don't we lads? We've got 70 points into Arcanist and 70 points into Tenacity, because if you don't have any points into Tenacity when you're a heavy attack build, what are you doing? 13.59% extra magicka and stamina recharged from your fully charged heavy attacks. That's just brilliant. You need it. The magic recovery you can take or leave. You can put that into health recovery if you wish, if you feel like you want to be able to recover more health, as we are running the Bewitched Sugar Cells, meaning that we do have a nice chunky boost of health recovery already there. If you want to further boost that, take the 70 out of Arcanist and put them into healthy. Your heavy attack is going to be constantly restoring your magicka anyway, so it's really quid pro quo, whatever you want to do. You've got 60 points into Tumbling in the Shadow Mundus. And that's it for green. Now let's move on to blue. No we're not. We're going to move on to red. We're going to do blue later. Keep you guys waiting. We've got 50 points into Ironclad, 20 into Spell Shield, 50 into resistant to increase our critical resistance because I'm fed up of being hit with 20k in caps. You nightbads out there know what I mean. We've got 20 into light armor focus because we need that resistance, 30 into thick skinned, 50 into elemental defender, and 50 into hardy. Now we're going to do blue, so don't expect me to go clockwise because I will mix it up every now and again. That's what you get when you come onto these videos. You never know what's going to happen, and you never know what weird build I've made for you fellas today. We've got 10 points into blessed because we are doing some healing, so we want a couple of points into blessed just to drive it up a little bit. 2.9% does go a long way. As you Magnite Blades know, having a bit of points into blessed does help you out a lot. We've got 50 points into Elfborn because we are doing magical abilities, which means we want to be able to do some crit damage and crit healing. 40 into Elemental Expert, that's self-explanatory. 25 into Spell Erosion. We don't need as many into this because we're running light armor. Light armor actually drives up your spell critical rating just for having it equipped, as well as your spell resistance rating. So you really don't need to focus as many points into Spell Erosion, but if you do wish to, I'd recommend taking the points out of Blessed and putting them into Spell Erosion. We've got 40 into Master at Arms, 55 into Staff Expert because we're running as Destruction Staff, and we're going to be doing light and heavy attacks. Plus, it does damage for Resto Staffs as well, so if you want to do a couple of heavy attacks while you're healing up, go for it. Nothing's stopping you. Next up, we've got 50 points into Thaumaturge. Now, the reason I've got Thaumaturge points on is because we're running the damage over time effect that comes with Entropy. And we are running the Lightning Staff. Now, Lightning Staff heavy attacks count as a damage over time effect. You can tell what a damage over time effect is because the damage ticks come up in orange. So abilities like Flurry on the Dual Wield tree or any bleed effect, that is always a damage over time. So having points to Thaumaturge will always drive that number up, and with just 50 points you're increasing your damage by nearly 20%. That is what you want. Now, I'm going to leave the video there. As you can see, my guy is currently stood in some coals, and I think he wants to get out and go for a bath. Again, the link is in the description for the official Masked Gamers Discord. There will be giveaways, announcements, and everything about that as soon as we hit a certain landmark of subscribers and members in the Discord. I play on Xbox EU, my gamertag is in the description. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, it means a lot, and especially if you're a recurring viewer looking for more builds. My builds come out every Tuesday, so please slap that subscribe button, hit that like button if you want to, drop a comment down below, say hi, whatever you guys want to do. I want you guys to interact with me and tell me if I'm doing things right for you guys and what you want to see in the next video. I will see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.